Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's video, I'll be making this beautiful two-piece and I'll be using Ankara to make mine. To our subscribers, I want to say thank you for subscribing and supporting us. And if you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come along guys, let's begin. So I'll be using this 6 years of Ankara print to make this beautiful two-piece outfit. It's a flare skirt and a crop top, right? So I'll be using the pattern paper to show you the illustration on how to cut it, because my table is very small and I want you to be able to understand how to cut yours. So we'll be doing the skirt piece first before doing the crop top. Okay, so you are going to take your fabric and you open it up. After opening it up, you are going to fold it. Okay, so I'll be doing the folding and all the explanation on the pattern paper. The first thing you do is you fold your fabric into two, and that's 180-degree. If you want to cut it 360-degree, you have to fold it into 4 places. Okay, so the first one is 180, the second one is 360. So we are using 180-degree for our skirt. And remember, Ankara is 45 inches. So there's another method. You have to do this triangular method and you cut it out. Use your waist measurement and you trace the length. So let me show you the triangular method. You take your tape and mark your waist measurement. I'm using just 1 inch for that. Then you mark the length. So if the length of the skirt is 45, you have to mark it and you will attach. You see the extra that we have that I just have now, that is where you are going to cut and attach to it. Okay, so that's if you are doing the triangular method. After doing that, you just stitch it together and you've gotten your flare skirt. This is because I'm using Ankara fabric, which is 45 inches. But if you are using crepe fabric, those are 60 inches. Okay, so it won't be necessary to do that, to attach, except the person is very tall. So that's why I'm attaching it to this one. So the other method is practically different, but we are also going to attach to it. For the other method, you fold your fabric into 2 places and you mark your waist measurement. Okay, so you divide your waist measurement by 3 and you mark it. So what I have was 12 inches and I marked it, then marked the length of my skirt. So the length of the skirt was 45 inches. Okay, so you have to mark it round like the way you do your 360-degree. So after marking it, I have some part that is small because of the length of the Ankara fabric. So you take another piece of your fabric, and this is the pattern paper. Okay, so but let's say it's your fabric, and you mark it from there to get that 45 inches that you need. So after doing that, you just have to measure it. Okay, so just take your chalk or your pen and you cut it out. So you've gotten your 180-degree for your skirt. Okay, so that was what I did. I'm going to do that on the fabric and show you how it looks. So for now, I'm just going to use my masking tape to tape it. But for the fabric, what I did was I went ahead and stitched the bottom part. So I had this was what I had for my own. So that is how it looks if you want to draft your 180-degree on Ankara fabric. You have to join because of the length of the Ankara fabric. If you are using any other fabric and the person is very tall, you don't need joining. But if you are using Ankara fabric, you have to join for 180-degree. Okay, so I'm going to do that on the fabric and I'm going to show you how it looks. So I'm done, and this was the extra that I had. So this is the waist to get my accurate waist. So my waist was 38, and after you divide it by 2, I had 19 point something. So this is what I have. This is the bottom part, the part that will be attaching the extra. Okay, so I pin it up and I'm going to stitch it with my sewing machine. I'll show you how I stitched every other part. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut out the pocket for the skirt. So I wanted to add pocket, so this was what I used. I just used my hand to give me the pocket. So to add your pocket, you can come down by 9 inches, or you just come down by 5 inches if you want it to be higher. Okay, so I use 9 inches for mine. I want it to be a bit low, so it depends on you. You have to pin it front side facing front side. Do the same thing for all the pieces, and you join it together and stitch. We're done with the skirt. Let's go ahead and make the top. For the top, you use your half length and add extra to it if you want it to be a bit longer. Okay, so I use my hip measurement to get the wideness. Then I went ahead and marked 3 inches for the neckline. Then the wideness was 3 inches also, and I marked 8.5 inches for the chest line and 17 inches for the waist. Then I also just used the 22 inches for the length of the top, because she's elderly person. I don't want her to use the crop top to be too crop. So connect the lines and the neckline, and we'll go ahead and mark the shoulder. So for the shoulder, our shoulder measurement is 18 inches, and what I have was 9. You come down by 1 inch, mark the 1 inch and connect it to your neckline. After connecting it, you connect it down to your chest line and you mark your bust measurement. So the bust measurement I had was 10.5 plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance, and also 1.5 inches for, it just depends on how much you want to add. Okay, so I added like 3 inches for it because I'll be removing it for the zipper also. So divide your sleeve line into two and add come in by half an inch, then connect it. Sorry, this the top tutorial is very fast. So connect it and you mark your waist measurement. So the waist measurement I'm using is 9 inches. You have to divide it, so 38.5 divide by 4, and whatever I add I marked it. So I marked it, then I went ahead and added extra 3 inches together, so you connect the lines. So this is practically for both the front and the back, but if you are not adding zipper, there's no need. Okay, so you don't need to add a zipper allowance. So what I did was, because I was adding zipper, I had to remove from the front piece. I had to cut out from the front piece and make the back piece to be a bit bigger than the front piece. So that's because I was using zipper. I just came in and cut out the excess of the front piece. But if you are not using zipper, just leave it this way and reduce the neckline. Make the neckline to be a bit deeper if you are not. So what you do next is you join the shoulder to shoulder. I will be showing you how to join everything on my sewing machine. So we are done with the top. Now we'll go ahead and we'll cut out our sleeve and also cut out our band for the skirt. For the band, I use 5 inches, and I use the length of the skirt that I have. So I use everything, cut it out, and I'm going to iron ST on it. For the bias, I cut out 1 inch of fabric. Okay, so I took everything to my sewing machine, and let's begin sewing our two-piece. So for the bottom part, just stitch that bottom part that I talked that we added for the skirt. Okay, so stitch it up this way. Then after stitching it, do the same thing for both sides of your fabric. Then when you are done, iron it up. Always try and iron your cloth when you are sewing them. Okay, it's going to give you neat work. So then after doing that, I stitch the pocket. You see me stitching the pocket this way. I did the same thing for the other side. I stitched up the pocket piece. Then after stitching the pocket piece, stitch the both parts of the skirt. Okay, you know we have the front and the back piece, so you have to stitch the pocket on both sides of the pocket. After stitching it, you place the front to the back piece or the back piece to the front piece, either way. Then you have to pin it up this way. So I pin it up all the way down to the hemline so that I'll be able to stitch it. Okay, so after pinning it up, you have to take your you have to mark it so that you know where to stitch. Okay, so I pin it up this way and I'm going to use my chalk to mark it. Okay, so just mark it this way and this is how you are going to stitch it up. Do you see what I'm doing? You top stitch on that pocket area. Okay, so this is the hemline. You see the joining, it just matches the skirt. So you top stitch on the pocket area on both sides, the upper part and the lower and the bottom part. Do the same thing for both sides of the skirt, and you have to open up the skirt at the back so that you'll be able to add your zipper. But if you want to add zipper to the side, you can do the same thing too. You can stitch it up to where you want you can start stitching from the pocket and so that you'll be able to attach your zipper. That's if you want to add it to the side, you can do that. But if you don't want to and you want to add it to the back, you have to open up the back piece and attach your zipper to it. Okay, so I'll stitch it up and we'll go ahead and attach our band next. Add the band to it. Okay, so I open it up and I took my band after adding the ST, and for the band I just did the normal band the method. Okay, you can do the other one that you flip and you stitch on top of it, but I just stitch on top of the band. So that was what I did for mine, but you can do the other method. I think I have some videos, tutorials. I'm going to put the link on the description below on how to join your band to your skirt if you want to do the other method. So after doing that, you go ahead and attach your zipper and you are done with the skirt. Okay, so I'm going to keep the skirt aside and we'll be working on the top piece. For the top piece, this is the sleeve. I cut it out outside camera. Okay, so this is the bias strips that I cut out and the front and the back piece. So you have to stitch it up shoulder to shoulder together. I have a video, I'm going to put it on the link below on how to achieve this. So stitch the shoulder to shoulder together. So this is it. You can use the normal bias to turn the neckline, or you use the fabric. So what I did was I went ahead and I ironed the bias. Okay, so I cut out 1 inch, then I ironed it, fold it in and ironed it, so it's almost the same thing. You see, it is exactly the same thing as the original already made bias. So I stitch it up the normal method of turning out neckline. So I took the bias and I stitch it round and flip it. Okay, so do the same thing for yours. After stitching it, you attach your sleeve. So this is me attaching the sleeve, and just pin it together and you attach. There's another method of attaching sleeve. You have to stitch the sleeve, then attach it to the top. Okay, so but I'm attaching it together so that we'll join the sides together. So after attaching the sleeve to the top, I folded it because I don't want it to have a seam. I don't want to see the seam. Okay, so I'll be using ST to iron that part. So you fold it into 2 places and stitch the 2 edges, just like what I'm doing. So you fold it and you fold it again and you just stitch it a bit, like 1 inch. Then you do the same thing for the other side. Okay, that was what I did for the 2 sides of the sleeve. After stitching it, you join the sides together and you stitch. Okay, you can see it is folded and it's having opening. So what I did was I had to use hemming up. So do the same thing for the other side of the sleeve and join it together and hem the button. You are done with your top. This is the final look and this is how it looks. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. God bless you guys. Bye guys.